of the Mandela status can no longer be located. As we're gathered here, your country, my country, has become a satellite of imperialism under Mr. Tinubu. On Christmas Day, a madman woke up and shocked all of us when he said, we had launched an airstrike in Nigeria. And we had killed terrorists who were killing Christians. Your government shamelessly came out to say, we knew about it, we are collaborating.
What a shame.
To sell your sovereignty. And just 2 weeks ago, we were also told by the Americans that we have sent troops to Nigeria. Again, we were informed by the Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, that yes, they are here to train us. We have not been told that another batch of 200 American soldiers are descending. We do not know how many American soldiers are in Nigeria today. But since 1960, Nigerians have consistently resisted and opposed any form of military base in this country. And I'm sure you are all aware that those over 200 American soldiers are not in the embassy in America, in Abuja. They have formed a military base in Nigeria. And all of us must reject this dubious attempt, surreptitious attempt, to turn Nigeria into a satellite of imperialism. Just this week, just yesterday, we marked the memory of Murtala Muhammad. He was the only soldier among the whole lot that once gave Nigeria and Africans a sense of pride when he said, Africa has come of age. For our generation, all Africans were happy that this could come from an African. And how did it arise? President Ford, Gerald Ford, sent a letter to African leaders not to recognize MPLA. Murtala Muhammad wasn't going to Addis Ababa for the conference. He was going to send his deputy, Lucian Obasanjo. But when he got that letter, he was said to have torn it and now said, I am going to that conference myself. And in that conference, Murtala told the West and imperialism that Africa is come of age. We can no longer take dictations from any power, any country, however powerful. Today, 50 years later, our country is taking insults, insulting directives from the United States of America, from that cantankerous man in the White House. Yeah. It is so bad to the extent that Venezuela was attacked. Over 100 people killed. A sitting president and his wife were captured. Nigeria could not make a statement by way of condemnation, like Ghana and others. Because it could be your turn. Do you understand me? It's a case of a battlefield or Yale. It can be anybody's turn. Unless the whole world rise up against such gangsterism that has replaced international law. As we are gathered here today, that tiny island of Cuba is not being attacked physically. But what Trump has done is to ban the entire world from supplying oil to Cuba. Do you understand? That we want to shock that country. And you are going to have a serious humanitarian crisis in that country very soon. Hospitals are going to collapse. Schools are going to collapse. That country depends on mainly tourism. That is done this year. But in the midst of hardship and adversity, Cuba has not cancelled free education at all levels. It hasn't cancelled free health at all levels. And that's a country that America has imposed economic sanctions for 6 decades, 60 years. So we must, your organizations must join progressive forces in the world to challenge the American plan to remove the government of that country. America is sure, Mr. Trump is sure, that we can't do a Venezuela in Cuba. But they have told him, we shall fight for the defense of our revolution to the last person. And so, for us, we must draw necessary lessons. You had what you call Hurricane Melissa in that country last year. The United Nations launched an appeal fund, a $74 million appeal fund. Maybe apart from a couple of countries in the Southern African region. Nothing from us. Nothing from Nigeria. And that is a country that has done more for Africa than any country. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. To free the Southern African region, Cuba sent over 33,000 troops physically fighting with us. And it was the Cunene, attack in Angola that led the criminals, apartheid forces, supported by the US and the entire West. That was what forced them to the drawing table. When you had Ebola, and the West was discriminating against Africa, Cuba sent a medical brigade of over 400 doctors to Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Liberia. And that was how Africa defeated Ebola. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Cuba sent doctors to 33 countries in the world, including Italy, a member of the G7, to save lives, whereas America sent troops to kill people in other parts of the world. So those who are embracing America, amongst us, out of confusion, they are coming to kill Fulani herdsmen, those who are killing Christians. Those who are killing do not care what religious, what God, what type of God are you worshiping. Those who have just struck in Kwara State, they killed 78 people, all Muslims. God, they said this, 170. They said all these Muslims, they are not proper Muslims. So it's like kidnapper. They don't care what God you worship. It's about collecting money ransom. And once you have a state that has collapsed like our own, where a person is kidnapped, the family members, once you hear somebody is kidnapped, do you know the first question you ask? Do you know the first question? Have they called? You don't know that you haven't had the experience. That is the language. Have they called? You are now praying for the criminals to call and dictate their terms. Every day, every minute. Just 3 days ago, a man was coming from Ibadan, a worker. He was going to give evidence in the NIC in Abuja. He couldn't travel by air. He was captured on the road. So why? So I have no money to keep. Even if you keep it in next year, there is no ransom. It's okay. What are you going to do in Abuja? I'm going to give evidence in the case. Over a hundred of us were sacked. Okay. Who is your lawyer? Give the name of one of my lawyers in Abuja. The criminals called the lawyer. This man, please, you have to help your client. He said, well, we are doing that case free of charge. It's a pro bono matter. So there's no way we can also go and raise money. What of his colleagues? They cannot raise more than 1.5 million. They have taxed themselves. Workers. So they are negotiating, oh, please, if you can make it 2 million. It is as bad in our country. Some die in custody because some are sick. They're just managing themselves. Some are on drugs regularly. And when you are captured, part of the problem we have, and I think you are going to take this up, I have said it publicly, that if your relation is attacked, please go and inform the police about the negotiation. If you pay, please let us know so that we can sue the government to recover the money. You know why? You know why? The duty of the government is to protect and ensure that the welfare and security of Nigeria, the primary purpose of government. So once the government cannot protect the citizens, that government has failed. But we must not leave it at that. And when I'm talking about, we've handled matters here. A lady was killed in 2011 in Abuja, in Kaduna. No, a man, a 30-year-old man, he had just obtained his PhD in geophysics. He was burnt in his house, a tenant. So the wife came crying. I said, no, madam. We went to the ECOWAS court for her. And the court awarded 10 million naira. That was there. After that, a 15-year-old boy was drowned in Ghana during an excursion. The parents came crying. You don't have to send a 15-year-old boy to secondary school in Ghana. No problem. The ECOWAS court awarded $250,000. Not that Ghana government killed the boy, but for the failure of the government of Ghana to pursue the teacher that was negligent, which led to that boy being drowned. So the law has left where your government is. And if we can all of us, all the victims of kidnapping, are going to court every day to demand, ask for a refund of the ransom they have paid, to bail out their loved one, the government would have taken this matter much more serious. Secondly, I've told you this, and I think today we must reject certain oppressive attitude in our country. Every Friday, police teams go around arresting our people. Knowing that Nigerians do not want to sleep in detention over the weekend, Extortion takes place. Sometimes you don't even know that your loved ones have not been kidnapped. That's in a police station. So you are jumping from one police station to the other, looking for your loved one. Sometimes you go to mortuaries. That must stop. And your organization, your movements, your party, please must sit down. Please write a letter. You must sit down with the branches of the Nigerian Association in Lagos. There are 7 of them. Are you with me?
Very well.
I'm happy I can see one of my friends. Yeah? Please, Baba Bami today for recognition. Was an effective chairman of Ikorodu branch of the NBO. One of the most successful. Now, let me tell you what the Lord says. Because you fought for these rights. We have won them, but we are not enforcing them. When a Nigerian is taken to a police station, or EFCC office, NDL or wherever, upon getting to the station, the police shall ask the person, who is your next of kin? Who is your closest friend or relative? And the police must, at their own expense, contact your relation so that they will know where you are. That is number 1. Number 2, on getting to that station, the police must tell you in the language that you understand what offense you have committed. Are you with me? Nobody shall be arrested for a civil wrong, breach of contract. So no landlord can take it to a police station in Nigeria. It has been prohibited. Do you understand me? No big man can say, you are owing me. I'm reporting you to the police. It's not a criminal offense. Do you understand? So if anybody is being harassed because he hasn't paid rent, you must tell the landlord, sorry, what you are doing is criminal. Furthermore, if you have no lawyer, this is crucial. From the police station, you have the right to demand for the services of a lawyer, free of charge, under the Nigerian law. So the police will contact the Legal Aid Council. There is a Nigerian in our custody who will require the services of a lawyer. Can you send a lawyer? And the lawyer must be sent. So your right to be defended as a Nigerian starts from the police station. Do you understand me? Yeah. As if you have no lawyer and you are not able to secure the services of a lawyer, the state shall give you a lawyer. You are not in court yet. I'm still in the police station. Now, under 24 hours, you must be taken to a court. If you are in a place like Lagos. But if there is no court within the distance of 40 kilometers, you may be taken to court the following day. So it's not correct to say, oh, the maximum time they can detain you is 48 hours. It depends on where you are.
Not in Lagos.
Not in Lagos. Now, your phone cannot be looked at by the police. The police cannot open your phone without a court order. Do you understand me? So this one, you bring your phone. Oh, sorry, officer. Do you have a court order? Your house cannot be searched without a search warrant. You cannot be arrested without a warrant of arrest unless you are seen committing an offense. once a month, at least once a month. And you must go and identify the chief magistrate in your area from this afternoon. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
Because that magistrate is required by law, at least once a month, to visit all police stations in his or her magisterial district. During the visit, the magistrate has the power to grant bail there instantly, or order somebody who should not be there to go home, or recommend somebody who is alleged to have committed an offense to be taken to court immediately. Do you understand? So if you identify the chief magistrate in your area, you must find out, Madam Magistrate or Mr. Magistrate, when else are you going to inspect police stations in our area? And your party. And that is the only thing that can distinguish you, that can differentiate between you and APC, PDP, or ADC, that you are fighting to protect the interests of the people. Know your chief magistrate. And if the magistrate is not performing that duty, tell your party to write a petition to the appropriate bodies. On the road, what they call stop and search. Because they subject young people to stop and search every day. Nobody shall search you without uniform. That's the law. Two, you can only be searched if there is reasonable suspicion that you have stolen an article of the car you are driving. If the policeman makes the mistake to subject you to a search